Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At InChain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's basically all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Yo, what is up everybody? How are we doing, people? Sorry I'm a little bit late, but I have been busy doing my thing. Like, oh my goodness, like what a day. There is never a dull day in the world of crypto. I love this space. Honestly, I absolutely love this space. Just a little story before we jump into things. I was watching a YouTube series this morning called Bankrupt, all about this hotel chain that was basically they'd lost a $2.4 billion investment in this hotel. And I mean, the complex was absolutely stunning. It had been bankrupted, taken over, bankrupted, taken over, bankrupted, taken over, and then the pandemic hit. So they really haven't had the best of luck at all. But if you think about it, yeah, they're fighting a losing battle. Like, if you think that fiat currency loses on average 3%, and this is compounded every year, and that doesn't even take into account the amount of quantitative easing that has just gone on in the last 6 months, when the Federal Reserve has printed more money in the last 6 months than they have in like 20 years. Yeah, you're literally, if you're a business, you are fighting an uphill battle when you are using a medium of exchange that loses, way more than 3% a year on average. And then, like, when the business fails, it just simply centralized by the banks, because the banks have control of the money. You can't get money from anywhere else other than banks. So therefore, you build this project, it fails because the money's gone down in value, and the bank just ends up controlling absolutely everything. Whereas imagine now you're running a business and you are conducting that business, trading your goods and services for a medium of exchange that's increasing in value. It means effectively your business is safe. We're not going to have all these businesses going bust and airlines going bust, because of these pandemics and all this kind of crap that's happening. But it also got me thinking about just the acceleration of BSV is just going to be absolutely like nothing the world has ever experienced before. And we're going to have to get used to this. So I would say literally like anyone who has got 10 BSV or more, I mean, this thing is going to get to like $100,000 in no time. So that's like $1 million. And that means you can give up work. You know, it means you don't have to spend all day in front of a computer, you know, listen to your boss nagging at you or anything like that. So, and this is going to happen really quickly. Like really quickly. So what are you going to do with that free time? Are you just going to become a douchebag and just like, you know, sit around smoking pot all day and like living life on a beach and, you know, living la vida loca? I mean, yeah, do that for a while. But I mean, seriously, you are going to be financially free exceptionally quickly, more than you could ever imagine. But surely you then owe a duty to that thing that has enabled you to be financially free and independent, to tell more people about it. So I was having a chat with my a client about this earlier, and I said, look, we may not have, you know, hundreds of thousands of BSV like these huge miners do. However, these huge mining operations have a responsibility to build the network, to make sure that it is a global electronic peer-to-peer cash system. They are building the new infrastructure for this. So they have to be multiple billionaires. You know, but because like I said, it's their responsibility to do that. But what about us? The smaller ones who don't have hundreds of thousands, but let's say we've got, you know, 10 to 100 or, you know, a few hundred, yeah, if we're lucky, which is pretty good. We are also going to be millionaires, which means we are going to be financially free. So you can do whatever you want with that time. So do you not have yourself a duty to then tell other people about it? Get other people on board, you know, on board your local town. You know, get everybody in the village using it. You will be financially free. You will not have a boss anymore. You will be a law unto yourself. So therefore, I would say that, you know, think about how you're going to do it. You know, are you going to, you know, produce like, you know, neon signs saying Bitcoin accepted here that you can put on all your, you know, local corner shops and high streets and stuff like that? Get involved with business communities saying, look, you need to accept this thing. This is how you do it. This is where you buy it. That's where you store it. These are the wallets that you use. This is a PayMail. This is a handle. This is what you need to think about, and I'd like to encourage everybody to do that. And one of the reasons I want to encourage people to do that is because I want you to get used to the fact that, you know, this is going to happen, and when it happens, it is going to hit overnight. It is going to hit so fast. Like I said, so think about. In fact, we'll just do this here. Let's just have a quick look, you know, at the CoinMarketCap and what BTC did. And remember, BTC did this on the back of pure speculation. Nobody knew what on earth it really was. You know, they were just listening to all the, you know, shitcoiners talking crap because they didn't have a clue either. We're just going to more details here. Here we go. Look at this. So this is what BTC did. And remember, on August 1st, 2017, was when it forked. And it forked because those arseholes at Blockstream purposely didn't want it to work. So the price shot up to $20,000 on something that was completely centralized through the implementation of SegWit. And being centralized, it meant that no other developers could build on the platform. So there were no other useful applications for other people that they could use. And they'd also prevented the block size from scaling. So it just meant people couldn't actually use it to transfer for transactions. And it still got up to $20,000. Like, imagine what's going to happen this time when there is nothing stopping it. The block cap, yeah, the block size, or the block limit completely removed. Only limited by that 10-minute cycle when blocks have to be propagated. You know, it can already handle, you know, well over, you know, 1,000 transactions a second. An absolute piece of cake. You know, the world is literally going to be piling in on this thing, and it is going to get to 100 grand overnight. Like, literally overnight. So what I'm saying is you can jack in your job. Yeah, you can tell your boss, see you later. And yeah, you know, let that positive cortisol flood your brain for a while, you know, which is what's going to happen. But, you know, bring yourself back down to earth and think, right, okay, this thing has made me, has given me the ability to give up work and be financially free. What am I going to do to what am I going to do to return the favour? Well, I'll tell you what you can do is you can get onboarding more people. Whereas these miners, it's their duty to put more and more investment into their mining operations. And believe me, they're going to have to do that because they are going to be competing with the largest financial corporations in the world. All the international investment banks, Goldman Sachs and stuff like that. All the central banks, all the governments. Like I've said before, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Apple. They are going to be like, right, we need this thing. We are going to be mining. So those mining operations that are operating now, they are going to be dealing with the largest corporations in the world. So yeah, they better put their foot down and get competing. So that's their role. They're going to be investing and building and building and building. But I mean, luckily we don't have that stress. I wouldn't really want that stress either, to be honest with you. But yeah, we're going to be financially free very soon. So yeah, what are you going to do? And like, I know some of you might not believe this, but this is why I want to carry on talking about it to give you more details, so you can process the thoughts in your mind, and say, well, look, yeah, Toshi told me this was going to happen. Yeah, he said this was going to like rocket to $100,000, like literally kind of like overnight, and here we are. One BSV is worth $100,000. I can now do whatever I want. What am I going to do? And I would say, I mean, I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do, and talking about what I'm doing. I'm also obviously setting up BSV International, and check this out. The latest on boarder today was we have now finally got Iceland. Iceland has been in my hit list for a long time, and I finally got it. Check it out. Look at this. This looks mint. BSV International is growing, like it is growing rapidly, and I was like, you know what, we can have conferences in all these different parts of the world, and these people are going to be they're all going to have the same newbie questions, and luckily we're not miners or devs. Devs are going to be building, miners are going to be investing. What are we going to do? Well, it's our job to explain to everybody how this works, and they don't need to know the technicals. Like I said, the technicals is a pissing contest. So long as you know the basics. What is SHA-256? What does block size actually mean? How long does it take to propagate a block? How many transactions per second can this do? What is this in terms of securing data? Well, I've just said before, Bitcoin is the foundation layer for all future digital technologies, secured and underpinned by economic principles. That's what it is. Everything is going to be built on BSV, and it's going to be our job to explain this to all the newbies. That's our role, and we're going to have time to be able to do it because we can jack our jobs in. This is going to be the job, and we're all going to help each other. I mean, I get thinking about it. That's probably one of the reasons why I've done, all my fundamental research, is because, the fundamentals is what the common person needs to know. It's like, how can I trust this investment? How can I be sure it's not going to be here today, gone tomorrow? It's like, well, it's like this. It's backed by the value of immutable data. You can now own your data by uploading it onto the blockchain, but you can only upload your data with Bitcoin. How valuable is that? Do you want to upload your all your personal information to a corporate server who can just simply delete it on a whim, have it cracked, hacked, altered, changed, deleted, exposed, get cyber criminals in on it? Or do you just simply want to upload it to the Bitcoin blockchain where it's safe, forever, and it belongs to you? No adverts, none of this crap. And people are just like, oh right, yeah, I agree with that. That actually sounds really good. Well, if you think that sounds really good, that means it's got value. And if it's valuable, it means the price is going to keep going up. So there's your security. And also, this is infinitely divisible. I mean, it is the best form of money this world has ever had. Ever. I mean, literally using the value of data as a commodity. Digital data. Knowing that digital data can be infinitely divisible. That's what we wanted. And we are sat right on top of this. I mean, it's just absolutely sensational. Absolutely sensational. And that was me getting carried away there. I should have cut a long story short. I was getting a bit excited. But Let's do this. Let's crack on with these figures, see what's going on today. And on that note, it is time to ding a dong. Let's get it on. Get your handles and paymails in the chat box. Let's do this. Right then, peeps, more gossip and excitement tomorrow, no doubt. So tune in, same time, and as aware, be aware, take care, stay safe out there. Joy given. Catch everybody later. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and watch the full episode on Streamanity, free for 15 hours. Go to www.satoshi.tv. See the link in the description below.